Hello, everyone. Welcome to the MoneyConf pitch semi-final. I am Sean. I'm the head of startups for MoneyConf and Web Summit, and I'm going to be your host for today. So lucky you guys. Earlier today, 21 of MoneyConf's best startups pitched their hearts out on our pitch stage in the group stages of this competition. 3 startups emerged victorious from the groups, along with 1 wildcard, and they're going to be pitching for you today, along with 4 pre-selected semi-finalists. But as you can see, they are not alone. They've been joined here by our esteemed panel of 20 judges. So welcome all of you. Get comfortable. Hopefully the seats are as comfortable as they look. And this is how the semi-final is going to pan out, basically. So each startup is going to pitch for 3 minutes only. Okay, there's going to be no Q&A from our judges. So the startups will only have the 3 minutes to impress and to convince the judges that they deserve a place in the 3 coveted spots for tomorrow's grand final. Our mega panel of judges here will be scoring each of our startups out of 10. They're going to be taking into consideration the startup's product, the potential to disrupt, the financials, the team, and of course the quality of the pitch. So that's enough from me. Let's hear from our first startup. Our first startup and the winner of the very first group round is Quobis. So please welcome onto the stage Jorge.
Well, hi there, guys. My name is Jorge, and I am Quobis intern. Not joking. We are based in Spain, in Galicia specifically, and we don't do blockchain or artificial intelligence or holistically approach investments. We are not that kind of sexy, cutting-edge startup. We are more that cute person that you grow to love. We use web real-time communication to interconnect your customers and employees real-time and super easy. So digital is the future. In the last 10 years, from 25% of digital banking users to 50%. It is clear that a lot of people want to use digital banking. They don't even want to step in the physical branch anymore, right? So we made a platform. It's called Sipo. It interconnects with any device. So it works in phones. You can integrate it in your app, in your website, or even in a video ATM. You decide. This is physical branch anywhere, on demand, anytime. So click and talk. That easy. Always connected. Your customers want that. How? Well, we can start with just the customer onboarding. So your customer calls the agent. He can record the call. Use biometric ID to check that the customer is the same as in their document. And you have your account set up. How long did it take? Well, less than my pitch. How long that takes to make your account in a physical branch? Or you want to buy a car. This thing can follow the customer through the whole cycle. You can call your agent, and he can tell you, well, this is the cost. He can send you the document. You can sign real time on the fly. Or even get insurance. You can record the whole call, see the car. The insurer can send you a price and send you the document, sign it, and you are set up. It is really flexible. It also works as your internal employee communication tool. You can develop your own WhatsApp for your employees. They can collaborate. They can video call. They can chat with each other. That easy. It is different from the rest because it's not just an API. It's personalized to the bank needs. You don't need to change anything. It integrates with the architecture that you have in your contact center, with the architecture that you have, and integrates with all your digital assets. So it's not a cost that will sink the rest of your investment in the bank. Our business model is subscription-based, like most of the platforms. It depends on the users that are running the platform, and according to that, yearly you pay a fee. This is the C team. Elias and Yago are our co-founders, and with Fatima, our COO, and Anton, our CTO, they have a strong knowledge of the telecommunications market, but they are backed up with way more people. There's 40 guys in our company. Most of them are engineers that help us bring over 2 million revenue last year. Some banks already believe that this is the future. BBVA, CaixaBank, or Sabadell in Spain are already using this technology. So what are you waiting to make your physical branch experience anywhere? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jorge. Great, always tough going first. Next, I want to welcome to the stage our second startup pitching. They're called Pia, and let's welcome onto the stage now, Lex.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Lex. I am the CEO and co-founder of Pia, your personal investment assistant. I've got some bad news for you. most of us are screwed. About 90% of us will outlive our savings. This is a huge problem. And it's one that we at Peer want to make sure we play our part in remedying. Our mission is to empower millions of people to build a better financial future. And I'd like to play just a short video. Okay, great. So a lot of us know that investing is not actually that complicated, okay? But the industry has made it seem so and has a vested interest in doing so. It's time to shatter those illusions. We are creating the most comprehensive suite of e-learning modules to take you from the very basics of investing up to some of the more complex elements of investing. Engaging, interactive, multimedia, adaptive content to help you learn, engage, retain that information. We're building an AI, a chatbot principally, that sits alongside a dynamic website which guides you through and steers you through the maze, making recommendations along the way. You can ask questions about just about anything. Your personal personality is there to make recommendations for products and services that fit where you are in your life without any bias, for free. Our comparison engine pulls together products and services from hundreds of providers into one place, allows you to meaningfully compare the detail that matters to you, from Bitcoin to bonds and beyond. You can't build amazing things without amazing people, and I'm very privileged to be working with some of the most talented and influential people across finance, technology, and machine learning. And together, we want to change how people perceive and access investing. Investing is simpler than you think. Thank you for your time.
Great. Thanks, Lex. We're all screwed. It's great to hear. Right, I noticed that there are some people standing. There are still some seats up the front, so feel free to come up. The judges don't bite. Thanks for that, Lex. Startup number 3 are called Bettr. I saw them during the group stages, and they were pretty electric, so hopefully they can replicate that on stage. So please welcome to the stage now, Toby.
We are living in exponential times. Yet, we've revolutionized accommodation, transport, and communication, but banking is still a broken system. It's a barrier of bricks, a costly legacy, a consumer monopoly that limits choice and financial equality. We are Bettr, and our vision is to create Africa's financial graph that connects people to a greater financial existence. Africa is home. South Africa is home to 55 million people. 70% are banked and half is underserved. People are challenged with money. We have 9 million unemployed, mostly who are youth, and our students are burdened with $5 billion in debt. Last year, the 5 retail banks charged consumers $40 billion in interest and fees. It costs you $10 a month just to store your money, and you get penalized half a day's minimum wage if you miss a direct debit. Introducing the Financial Graph, an open financial network that connects people with financial inclusion and control. We're about to change the rules and the game. With artificial intelligence, we give you a new financial DNA to transact with an ecosystem of peer curated financial marketplace. Bettr lowers the cost of distribution, origination, and underwriting of financial services products. Today, the Internet of Money is in your hands. We can now diminish traditional brick-and-mortar institutions. We can displace the trust from corporates to the crowd. We can disrupt the traditional business models and demonetize the cost of accessing finance. The Internet of Money is in your hands. Download the app, create a profile, do your KYC, activate your account, and become anything. One of our special features is Bettr Go. Bettr Go is your AI-powered, on-demand money companion. It allows you to achieve little wins such as booking a flight ticket and automatically saving for it ahead of time. You can even be universal with your money, transferring money from one bank to another seamlessly and for free. It brings your dreams that you've always wanted ahead of time so you can afford it. It gives you full control and transparency of how you spend your money to achieve your financial goals. We're giving back up to $1,000 to consumers in savings. It costs us $50 to acquire a customer, from which we make $100 per annum from a marketplace. We want to connect 100,000 people to the financial graph in 2019, starting by refinancing expensive student debt, bringing financial wellness into the employment sector, and giving everybody here an open API to make finance more inclusive for everyone. We want to celebrate for the second time at MoneyConf our official launch to the South African market. This is a company built by the people for the people. 4,000 people creating this whole company with us, and we are proud to be here with everyone. So for the fifth time, or second time, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, woo!
Okay. Thank you very much, Toby. I feel like I may have undersold you there. Okay, now we're moving on to pitcher number 3, so we're really flying through here. Number 3 are Rails Bank, and pitching for them today is going to be Brad. So please welcome Brad to the stage.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Brad. I'm from Rails Bank, and this is Woz. Woz invented the personal computer in 1976. Since then, computers have improved a lot, and they've created a whole bunch of services that makes it so much easier to start and run a business. Unfortunately, the same thing can't be said for banks. In fact, banks run on COBOL generally, a computer language that predates the personal computer, and that makes starting a fintech business really, really hard. And that's because banks are banks. They're not technology companies. And so it can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars and take months just to integrate with them. This is a problem that we know well. I helped start Zuper, a company that partnered with Barclays to build a challenger bank in emerging markets. Nigel, he started Currency Cloud, which provided the FX rails for companies like TransferWise and Revolut to get to market. And so we asked ourselves a question: what if we could do for banking what Currency Cloud did for FX? What kind of innovations would that enable? And this is a huge market, in fact, more than $1 trillion in revenue today. So what we do is we do the heavy lifting. We integrate with banks, we partner with banks, and we make their capabilities available through a super simple API. So we solve the problem of how innovators connect to banks. And to make it safe for everyone, for customers and for banks, we protect the whole network in what we call the Rails Bank Compliance Firewall. This makes it super easy and, most importantly, super fast to incorporate banking in your app or business. In fact, you can get live with just 5 lines of code. With those 5 lines of code, you can create accounts. You can create account numbers, IBANs for those accounts. So you can do payments in the UK and Europe. You can issue cards and so much more. And not only that, you can automate a lot of your compliance. We started only 18 months ago, but we've built a super strong team. Joe is on the Bank of England's compliance panel for FinTech. Claire has 35 caps for rugby for England. We're live today in UK, we're live in Europe, and we'll be live in the US in just 2 months. And so, to show you how easy it is, you can come see me afterwards. We've actually built a fake startup in 5 lines of code. In 5 days, one of our 18-year-old interns built an entire new neobank where you could onboard, create an account, load money to that account, get a MasterCard debit card issued in your own brand, which you could spend on right away. I'm Brad, I've been Rails Bank, and I'd love to talk to you afterwards. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, Brad. Thanks for that. Brad's 18-year-old intern making me feel like I wasted my weekend. So, thanks, Brad. We'll give him a round of applause. Let's welcome our next semi-finalists coming from Manchester, and this is Craig from Padoq.
Thank you. I'm Craig from Padoq. In a world in where everything is getting simpler to use, becoming more efficient, why isn't this the same for when you organise groups? I personally organise five-a-side football on a weekly basis for a number of friends. Every single week, I have to find out who can play, making sure they know where to be and when, and collecting their £4 subs so I can pay for the sports hall each week. I find myself using 3, 4, sometimes even 5 different platforms just to be able to get everyone together in one place. It takes a lot of time and it's really stressful. 45% of all payments within communities are still made offline using cash and coins, and there's a lot of problems by using cash. For one, keeping a ledger of who's paid and who hasn't, and let's all face it, how many times has that cash point been broken conveniently when someone owes you 2 or 3 weeks worth of subs when it kind of comes out? Padoq. So we provide all of the necessary tools for an organizer of a group to be able to manage them better, whether that's running events, running polls, sharing information, allowing chatter, but also collecting money for those bits and pieces that have to happen within the community. We realize that payments are the heart of every single community out there. So from day one, we've integrated with a third-party e-wallet provider that allows us to KYC users, offer multiple currency wallets, as well as allow free movement of money from wallet to wallet within Padoq. We're currently going through FCA approval to become a PISP, because we envision a world where it doesn't matter how many bank accounts with different banks you have or who you're trying to pay. It should be effortless and easy online. So instead of the old PIN entry device, the approval text that you get through, we're trying to streamline everything about how easy it is to make payments for those small things you need to do. In terms of our UI, hopefully you'll agree, everything on Padoq is about the ease of use, ease of payment. So our chairman is the ex-CTO of the DVLA and the Student Loans Company, and our current CTO has sold out many ad tech platforms, as well as having stints at Microsoft and Expedia. We've also won a few awards along the way. Hope to get another one this weekend as well. Most platforms do require hitting a critical mass point of users before they're able to actually add a revenue stream. Padoq is at most platforms. We have 4 revenue streams from day one. The first is the ability to take a small clip on the withdrawal of money from Padoq. The second, a shared advertising platform that actually rewards admins of groups that actually allow adverts to be served to their group, and they then take a proportion of the ad revenue that's generated. The third, we've secured a deal with the Manchester City Council to build a QR code scanner within Padoq that allows local communities to report problems with bins that are overflowing, street lamps that are out, and get notified when they've been fixed. Lastly, white label partnerships. So the cooperative have showed intent. They want to be able to better engage in a more meaningful way with its members across the entire group. They want to use Padoq for that. We've raised a total of £750,000 to date, and we are targeting our Series A in Q1 2019. We're open to engaging with Series A investors at this time. I'd just like to say, if you all do have a smartphone, please do pull it out. We'd love for you to share our journey and go to padoq.com. Thank you very much for listening.
Cool. Okay, thank you, Craig. Thanks for that. Got the cheeky Series A announcement in there at the end as well, which is good to see. Okay, so we're over halfway through. We're going to welcome onto a stage now our 5th pitch, and that is going to be by Gospel Technology. So please welcome onto the stage to present Liam.
Over 5 million data records are lost or stolen every single day. It's a staggering 58 every single second. By the time I'm done speaking today, over 10,000 records will have been lost or stolen at a cost of over 1.5 million US dollars. There's a crisis of trust in both the consumer and the business world. If we can't trust a company to securely look after our data, how can we trust them as a business? The problem, enterprise infrastructure, is broken. More and more companies either have to or want to collaborate and create partnerships and consortiums. The problem is, how do we enable them to share data whilst maintaining security and integrity of said data? We often create secure silos of infrastructure to hide behind, but then see our employees completely negate this by communicating and sharing data in a way that's easiest for them And this is where disaster strikes. Data breaches happen. The second that data leaves that secure infrastructure, we no longer have control over it. This is where gospel comes in. We have the solution. We're bringing trust to data. Gospel has built a secure data platform based on a private permission blockchain. Now, we're not a cryptocurrency. We don't have a token, and our ICO is planned for never. We're solving real-world problems. We often joke internally that we use blockchain to get through the door, and that's the last thing we say about it. Now, the truth is that about 25 to 30% of what we do is about blockchain. The rest of our resources and development have gone into developing 2 real core bits of IP on top of that. The first is our secure data ingestion engine. LedgerBridge enables us to overcome the biggest barrier to entry in enterprise, and that's integrating with existing systems. That 25-year-old mainframe in a dusty data center, we can talk to it. Now, not only does it enable integration, but enables those systems to speak a common language and collaborate at the data level. Next, our contextual access controls. The Gospel platform allows an individual or system to only see exactly what they need to see to do their job on the platform. No more, no less. Our customers tell us that we are far ahead of any other technology in this space because we can provide real business value today and are doing so. What's nice is that a number of analysts have said exactly the same thing. Experience the power of making business-critical decisions with absolutely trusted data on Gospel. Thank you.
Okay, thanks very much for that, Liam. I'm not sure if people are aware, Liam actually had "I like big blocks and I cannot lie" written on the back of his t-shirt there. It's a bit of a mix-a-lot shout out. Okay, we're on to our 7th startup. So we're going to welcome Fractal Labs. And today, pitching Fractal Labs, we're going to have Gaurav. So please give a warm welcome to Gaurav now.
Hello. Good afternoon. I'm Gaurav, often referred to as the crazy guy in the startup. As you can tell, we are Fractal and we are powering smart SME financing. So we are a financial insights platform, and our mission is to remove friction from the SME financing market. And we do that by helping banks engage their SME customers, make better credit decisions, and improve the portfolio performance. The problem that we are solving, there's a £22 billion financing gap in the UK itself, and that's because banks do not have the key financial data which is needed to price risk on SMEs and to understand SME needs. So we offer a white label platform and an API platform to banks, which they can offer to their SME customers. And in return, what banks get is the insightful and meaningful data that they can use for continuous customer engagement, for receiving frictionless credit applications, for faster credit decisioning, and for digitizing those loans and linking them to the underlying assets in the blockchain, then real-time tracking and monitoring of the covenants, which were laid at the time of the loan, and then re-engaging the customer, making it as a virtuous circle. So how do we do it? We pull key financial data from permission-based accounting data and banking data and all the data necessary for banks from various different platforms and various different data points. We apply our machine intelligence on it, and then we enable applications on top. I'll give you an example of one such application. So SME receives a notification, your cash is expected to decline, find out why. They go inside and they see that their net cash flow is going to reduce by £8,500. When they drill down into it, they find out, oh my God, 3 people haven't paid me, and one of those always pays me late. What can I do about it? This is where we show them solutions which banks have configured so that, oh, I can use an overdraft facility or I can use invoice financing. And all of this within the app. So within seconds, they can get access to loan, and we show them how that loan will change the cash flow in their SME. We built the product on 3 core principles, like we say. simplicity and ease of use. We speak in a language that banks and SMEs understand. Driven by engagement, we use gamification techniques and behavioral nudges to engage the SMEs, and powered by insights, we send meaningful and actionable insights that the SMEs can act on. We are a team of data scientists, financial experts, computer engineers, and gamification engineers, and we have a partnership with Deloitte. And we are launching our product with large banks globally in the next weeks. Thank you.
Great. Thanks for that, Gaurav. Thanks for that. So, our 8th startup is called Zuper. They were the wildcards startup that made it through the group stages. So hopefully they can replicate that victory here today. On a side note, this lady has also given me a lot of free rein with the pronunciation of her name. I'm sure I'm going to ruin it regardless. But please welcome to the stage now, Letha.
Hello. So, I know that you've been very patient here. I'm the last speaker, and what I'm going to talk about right now is how you might be thinking about wiggling around in your chair a little bit. What you can see on my wrist here is a tracking device. This is a fitness tracking device, and there are more of these sold every year. Why? Because we like to know things about ourselves. We like data about us. So what we are doing as an app is to think about achieving financial health in the same way that people think about achieving physical health. This is a big, amorphous goal. How do you do it? You create small steps that make that big goal into something a lot easier and contextual in people's lives. So, for example, my watch is telling me when I've been sitting around for 40 minutes, it's time to get up and move. Our app is telling people when it's time to look at a report of their transactions, when they've gotten their income, things that are relevant to people in their lives. Because where is the bank of the future? It's in your pocket. We are not going to be the bank that you switch to, because there's no switch here. The money that you have in the future is going to be in Apple Pay, and it's going to be in WeChat, it's going to be in PayPal, and it's also going to be in your traditional banks. So we are existent for a year in Germany and Austria, and we find that our consumers there have about 2.5 bank accounts. We aggregate those, we use machine learning on the back end to deliver the information back to people in a form that makes sense to them. So right now that's money transfers, that's budget management, we do automatic expense categorization, and we act as that financial coach. The future for us is in alternative credit scoring, things like spending velocity alerts, things that, again, make this more contextual for your life. The team that we have has been in market, again, for a year developing this. We are a team of engineers and data scientists and entrepreneurs. We have been recognized in a few different places, and we have an incredibly low acquisition cost. We expect that this will go up a little bit, but we know from data that new banking is not like traditional banking in customer acquisition costs. So our plan is to acquire a banking license and to be a financial coach that is friction-free, that is where you need it, and at that moment when you have need. We are in Germany and Austria, moving out to Lithuania and the Baltics at the end of this year. We are looking at France, Italy, Estonia, and the rest of the EU soon to follow, because the PSD2 guidelines make that a requirement. Here's our team and our dog and our leadership. We come from a long background of machine learning. I've been in this 20 years, and my cohort here are very talented folks. So we believe that the future is Zuper, and it's in your pocket, and if you are in Germany or Austria, we invite you to try us. Thank you.
Great, thanks everyone. So please give a round of applause to all of our semi-finalists, along with our lovely judges as well. Great. So this is the bit where I sound a bit Ant and Dec on Britain's Got Talent, but the judges' scores will now be collected, counted, and verified, and the top 3 scoring startups will be announced later this evening. Today, the power was in the judges' hands. However, tomorrow, in the grand final, you, the audience, get to take back some of that power and become the 4th judge. So make sure you're back here tomorrow at 12:40 and have your say in who becomes champion of pitch for MoneyConf 2018. Thank you all, and see you tomorrow.